Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A branch of knowledge. In what discipline is his doctorate? Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Parents must discipline their children. The act of disciplining. The offenders deserved the harsh discipline they received. Punish in order to gain control or enforce obedience. The teacher disciplined the pupils rather frequently. A system of rules of conduct or method of practice. He quickly learned the discipline of prison routine. The trait of being well behaved. He insisted on discipline among the troops. Training to improve strength or self-control. A branch of knowledge. The area over which a bailiff has jurisdiction. A branch of knowledge. A particular kind of commercial enterprise. They are outstanding in their field. The area that is visible, as through an optical instrument. A particular environment or walk of life. The space around a radiating body within which its electromagnetic oscillations can exert force on another similar body not in contact with it. A piece of land prepared for playing a game. The home crowd cheered when Princeton took the field. A place where planes take off and land. Extensive tract of level open land. He longed for the fields of his youth. A region where a battle is being, or has been, fought. They made a tour of Civil War battlefields. A region in which active military operations are in progress. The army was in the field awaiting action. A geographic region, land or sea, under which something valuable is found. The diamond fields of South Africa. All of the horses in a particular horse race. All the competitors in a particular contest or sporting event. Answer adequately or successfully. The lawyer fielded all questions from the press. A piece of land cleared of trees and usually enclosed. He planted a field of wheat. Catch or pick up balls in baseball or cricket. Computer science, a set of one or more adjacent characters comprising a unit of information. Mathematics, a set of elements such that addition and multiplication are commutative and associative and multiplication is distributive over addition and there are two elements 0 and 1. The set of all rational numbers as a field. Play as a fielder. Select a team or individual player for a game. The Buckeyes fielded a young new quarterback for the Rose Bowl. Somewhere, away from a studio or office or library or laboratory, where practical work is done or data is collected. Anthropologists do much of their work in the field. A branch of knowledge. A branch of knowledge. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Give careful consideration to. Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. No schools offer graduate study in interior design. Attentive consideration and meditation. Preliminary drawing for later elaboration. Think intently and at length, as for spiritual purposes. He is meditating in his study. Learn by reading books. He is studying geology in his room. A detailed critical inspection. A written document describing the findings of some individual or group. This accords with the recent study by Hill and Dale. Be a student of a certain subject. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. A composition intended to develop one aspect of the performer's technique. A study in spiccato bowing. A room used for reading and writing and studying. He knocked lightly on the closed door of the study. A state of deep mental absorption. She is in a deep study. Be a student. Follow a course of study. Be enrolled at an institute of learning. Someone who memorizes quickly and easily, as the lines for a part in a play. He is a quick study. A branch of knowledge. Teachers should be well trained in their subject. Possibly accepting or permitting. The time is fixed by the director and players and therefore subject to much variation. A person who owes allegiance to that nation. A monarch has a duty to his subjects. Being under the power or sovereignty of another or others. Subject peoples. Make subservient. Forced to submit or subdue. The subject matter of a conversation or discussion. He didn't want to discuss that subject. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. A moving picture of a train is more dramatic than a still picture of the same subject. A person who is subjected to experimental or other observational procedures. Someone who is an object of investigation. The subjects for this investigation were selected randomly. Some situation or event that is thought about. He had been thinking about the subject for several years. Cause to experience or suffer or make liable or vulnerable to. He subjected me to his awful poetry. Grammar. One of the two main constituents of a sentence. The grammatical constituent about which something is predicated. Likely to be affected by something. The bond is subject to taxation. Logic. The first term of a proposition. Make accountable for. He did not want to subject himself to the judgments of his superiors. A branch of knowledge. A branch of knowledge. An appraisal of the state of affairs. A check on its dependability under stress. Be verified or confirmed. Pass inspection. These stories don't check. Make cracks or chinks in. The heat checked the paint. A mark left after a small piece has been chopped or broken off of something. Examine so as to determine accuracy, quality, or condition. Check the brakes. Develop, a child's or animal's, behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Lessen the intensity of. Temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. The state of inactivity following an interruption. Held them in check. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Slow the growth or development of. A written order directing a bank to pay money. He paid all his bills by check. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Mark into squares or draw squares on. Draw crossed lines on. Additional proof that something that was believed, some fact or hypothesis or theory, is correct. A mark indicating that something has been noted or completed, etc. As he called the roll, he put a check mark by each student's name. The act of inspecting or verifying. They made a check of their equipment. Something immaterial that interferes with or delays action or progress. The bill in a restaurant. He asked the waiter for the check. Put a check mark on or near or next to. Please check each name on the list. Be compatible, similar or consistent. Coincide in their characteristics. The handwriting checks with the signature on the check. Hold back, as of a danger or an enemy. Check the expansion or influence of. The act of restraining power or action or limiting excess. Abandon the intended prey, turn, and pursue an inferior prey. Arrest the motion of something, abruptly. He checked the flow of water by shutting off the main valve. A textile pattern of squares or crossed lines, resembling a checkerboard. She wore a skirt with checks. Block or impede, a player from the opposing team, in ice hockey. Chess, a direct attack on an opponent's king. Consign for shipment on a vehicle. Check your luggage before boarding. Decline to initiate betting. Hand over something to somebody as for temporary safekeeping. Make an examination or investigation. Check into the rumor. Obstructing an opponent in ice hockey. Place into check. He checked my kings. Stop for a moment, as if out of uncertainty or caution. She checked for an instant and missed a step. Stop in a chase, especially when scent is lost. The dog checked. Verify by consulting a source or authority. Check the spelling of this word. Write out a check on a bank account. The procedure that is varied in order to estimate a variable's effect by comparison with a control condition. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. A state at a particular time. A condition, or state, of disrepair. Usually plural, a statement of what is required as part of an agreement. The contract set out the conditions of the lease. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. Information that should be kept in mind when making a decision. A mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing. The human condition. An illness, disease, or other medical problem. A heart condition. Apply conditioner to in order to make smooth and shiny. I condition my hair after washing it. Establish a conditioned response. Put into a better state. He conditions old cars. Teach and supervise, someone, act as a trainer or coach, to, as in sports. He is training our Olympic team. Create by training and teaching. The old master is training world-class violinists. Teach or refine to be discriminative in taste or judgment. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Is this dog trained? A sequentially ordered set of things or events or ideas in which each successive member is related to the preceding. Train of mourners. Wheelwork consisting of a connected set of rotating gears by which force is transmitted or motion or torque is changed. The fool got his tie caught in the gear train. Drag loosely along a surface. Allow to sweep the ground. She trained her long scarf behind her. Undergo training or instruction in preparation for a particular role, function, or profession. She is training to be a teacher. Travel by rail or train. She trained to Hamburg. Public transport provided by a line of railway cars coupled together and drawn by a locomotive. Express trains don't stop at Princeton Junction. Educate for a future role or function. They trained him to be a warrior. A procession of wagons or mules or camels, traveling together in single file. They joined the wagon train for safety. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. He trained his gun on the burglar. A series of consequences wrought by an event. It led to a train of disasters. Cause to grow in a certain way by tying and pruning it. Train the vine. Exercise in order to prepare for an event or competition. She is training for the Olympics. Piece of cloth forming the long back section of a gown that is drawn along the floor. The bride's train was carried by her two young nephews. The act of disciplining. The act of offering an improvement to replace a mistake, setting right. A quantity that is added or subtracted in order to increase the accuracy of a scientific measure. A rebuke for making a mistake. A drop in stock market activity or stock prices following a period of increases. Market run-ups are invariably followed by a correction. Something substituted for an error. Treatment of a specific defect. The correction of his vision with eyeglasses. Make right or correct. Correct in opinion or judgment. Socially right or correct. Correct behavior. Censure severely. Go down in value. The stock market corrected. Punish in order to gain control or enforce obedience. Adjust for. Engineers will work to correct the effects or air resistance. In accord with accepted standards of usage or procedure. Free from error, especially conforming to fact or truth. The correct answer. Make reparations or amends for. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Correct the alignment of the front wheels. Treat a defect. The new contact lenses will correct for his myopia. Make free from confusion or ambiguity. Make clear. Arrange or order by classes or categories. Punish in order to gain control or enforce obedience. The content of a particular field of knowledge. The content of a particular field of knowledge. People in general, especially a distinctive group of people with some shared interest. Mathematics, the set of values of the independent variable for which a function is defined. The content of a particular field of knowledge. A particular environment or walk of life. Territory over which rule or control is exercised. His domain extended into Europe. Cause to grow and differentiate in ways conforming to its natural development. Create by training and teaching. We develop the leaders for the future. Work out. We have developed a new theory of evolution. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. The patient developed abdominal pains. Cause to grow and differentiate in ways conforming to its natural development. The perfect climate here develops the grain. Gain through experience. Children must develop a sense of right and wrong. Change the use of and make available or usable. Develop land. Come into existence. Take on form or shape. Happen. Report the news as it develops. Elaborate, as of theories and hypotheses. Could you develop the ideas in your thesis? Become technologically advanced. Many countries in Asia are now developing at a very fast pace. Grow emotionally or mature. The child developed beautifully in her new kindergarten. Be gradually disclosed or unfolded. Become manifest. The plot developed slowly. Elaborate by the unfolding of a musical idea and by the working out of the rhythmic and harmonic changes in the theme. Develop the melody and change the key. Expand in the form of a series. Generate gradually. We must develop more potential customers. Grow, progress, unfold, or evolve through a process of evolution, natural growth, differentiation, or a conducive environment. A flower developed on the branch. Make something new, such as a product or a mental or artistic creation. Her company developed a new kind of building material that withstands all kinds of weather. Make visible by means of chemical solutions. Please develop this roll of film for me. Move into a strategically more advantageous position. Develop the rook. Move one's pieces into strategically more advantageous positions. Spassky developed quickly. Superimpose a three-dimensional surface on a plane without stretching, in geometry. The act of punishing. The act of punishing. The act of punishing. A payment required for not fulfilling a contract. Games. A handicap or disadvantage that is imposed on a competitor, or a team, for an infraction of the rules of the game. The disadvantage or painful consequences of an action or condition. Neglected his health and paid the penalty. The act of punishing. Impose a penalty on, inflict punishment on. We had to punish the dog for soiling the floor again. Impose a penalty on, inflict punishment on. The students were penalized for showing up late for class. Impose a penalty on, inflict punishment on. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. We can't do it unless we establish some system around here. A group of independent but interrelated elements comprising a unified whole. A vast system of production and distribution and consumption keep the country going. A complex of methods or rules governing behavior. They have to operate under a system they oppose. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He tried to understand their system of classification. A group of physiologically or anatomically related organs or parts. The body has a system of organs for digestion. A procedure or process for obtaining an objective. They had to devise a system that did not depend on cooperation. Instrumentality that combines interrelated interacting artifacts designed to work as a coherent entity. He bought a new stereo system. Physical chemistry, a sample of matter in which substances in different phases are in equilibrium. In a static system, oil cannot be replaced by water on a surface. The living body considered as made up of interdependent components forming a unified whole. Exercise helped him get the alcohol out of his system. A complex of methods or rules governing behavior. A distinguishing feature of your personal nature. The cognitive process of thinking about what you will do in the event of something happening. The act of preparing something, as food, by the application of heat. He left the preparation of meals to his wife. A substance prepared according to a formula. The physician prescribed a commercial preparation of the medicine. Activity leading to skilled behavior. The activity of putting or setting in order in advance of some act or purpose. Preparations for the ceremony had begun. The state of having been made ready or prepared for use or action, especially military action. Their preparation was more than adequate. Preparatory school work done outside school, especially at home. Music. A note that produces a dissonant chord is first heard in a consonant chord. The resolution of one dissonance is often the preparation for another dissonance. The activity of getting dressed, putting on clothes. Activity leading to skilled behavior.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.